Hi, I'm Sarah, and this is Yoga for the Hellscape. Today our class is I Am Brave. We're going to be working to curate the feelings of bravery throughout the system so that you can take them with you as you navigate daily life. We're going to work in 3 different ways today with 3 sets of chakras, the root and hip area, the heart, diaphragm, and hands, and the third eye. And so we'll get into that here in a bit. But first I invite you to just find a comfortable seat and begin breathing with me. Gently and without trying. You may choose to close the eyes or simply have an unfocused gaze somewhere in front of you. Allowing whatever feelings are there to gently let go as you exhale, making room for all that's new and all that's possible throughout this practice. I like to think of gentle breathing like this as a stage curtain, a rising. Inhale, curtain up. Exhale, curtain releases. And as you're breathing here, I invite you to think about, when did I feel most brave? You make it a picture, a memory, a sensation. Stay with that and grow it. When I felt most brave. You may not have a picture or a memory or anything yet. And that's okay. Perhaps you have not yet felt your bravest, but you will. We create all the feelings. So stay with the feeling of bravery, the one that's arrived for you in this moment. Stay with that for a bit. Where do you feel bravery in your body? Feel it there and radiate it everywhere until your entire being is filled with bravery. Notice what that does. Notice who you are here with bravery. If you're not yet finding it, not yet radiating it, that's okay. Make sure you're breathing. Breath carries everything. And know that you can always come back to this feeling of bravery spread throughout all of your being. You can harness it at any time, throughout the practice, and throughout all of life. Remember that what you create, you can come back to again and again. And now inhale, exhale, let that all go. Blink open your eyes if they're closed. We're going to create even more bravery together in this class. We're going to work in 3 different ways with 3 of the major chakras that are found along the spine. These are energy centers, places where energy works in concert with the physical body in order that we navigate life in successful and fulfilling ways. And so we're going to work with the first chakra, the roots and the hip of the body, the 4th chakra, the heart, the diaphragm, which runs, it's a muscle, it runs around the body beneath the heart area, and kind of at your lower bra line if you wear a bra, and the hands with that, extensions of the heart, as well as the third eye, the sixth chakra, the place of psychic seeing, of dreaming, of possibilities, and even impossibilities that you want to bring forth in your life. We'll be working with all of these chakras in order to bring about bravery. And you may be thinking, oh, there's so many ways to arrive in bravery, right? And absolutely there are. These are the ones I've chosen for this particular class. It's our first one working together, and I wanted to kind of get us going in a very gentle and inviting way for everyone. We will not be needing to do any kinds of balancing postures or any things that are very strenuous throughout this class. And that is so everyone can participate. And even if you cannot yet find yourself in the forms that I'm suggesting, find your way as far as you can and don't give up. Just keep breathing with it. It can take a lot of practice to arrive in some of the forms that we're even doing today. But all of our work will be on the floor, and you can repeat the videos as many times as you like if you're working to perfect or to hit any of the forms for the first time. And just go very gently with your body and with whatever arises for you emotionally or energetically. Just stay with that and you'll be great. That's practicing yoga, and that's perfect. So we're gonna get started with that. The point of breath and asana is to be able to be still, to be able to sit in prayer, in meditation, or in facing whatever it is that you are in life. So in going forth with what it is that you're curating. So for this class, it would be being able to go forth with bravery. We are preparing for exactly that. And it may not all arrive in this one class. It may take several repetitions of the class to get there, but it will click, and believe that it will, and know that it will, and just make room for those kinds of surprises that show up. All right, so remember through all of this, I am brave to be in this body, in this world, in this way. I am brave to do this yoga, and I am brave to do my own form of yoga away from this. And so you may choose to do that at any point in this class or any of the others that you're taking. Beginning again, we will start with some gentle neck stretches to kind of get things flowing and allow the body to know that we're inviting stretch and we're inviting movement. So I'd like for you to think of your head from a sky view, from a bird looking down. We're gonna make an asterisk with our stretches, okay? And so the asterisk looks like a star, and it's like an 8-point star. It's like an X and a T this way. And so we're gonna go in all those directions with our neck. So first, chin down toward the chest. Make sure that your spine is nice and erect, that you're lifting up through here, shoulders are relaxed, and just gently bring your chin toward your chest. You may not go far, you may go far. We're not rounding the entire upper body, this is just the neck. So right here, chin to chest, couple breaths. Look up, and on the same line, going backwards, chin to the sky, as far as you feel comfortable. And then back, reset, good. Now we're going to go to one side, and I'll try not to say left and right on this because it can get really confusing as to whether I'm mirroring or, which side, and it usually never matters. If it does matter, I will tell you it's left or right that you should be going, but otherwise I'm going to say to a side, and you choose the side. So this time, pick a side. We're going to go that way. We're not pivoting around, like shaking your head. No, we're actually tilting. So we're going to take the ear to the shoulder, keeping everything erect through the spine. Relax over. Relax the jaw. Allow the stretch. You may want to use the arm of the side that you're bent toward. Just place it kind of up, place your hand above your ear or at your temple and just hold. Not pulling, just kind of coaxing or inviting. You can feel a deep stretch and then come back to center. Notice the difference in the sides maybe. All right, and then to the other side. Relaxing the jaw. Make sure you're breathing. Good, and let that go. Now we're going to do kind of the X on the diagonal to one side, chin toward the chest diagonally. Back to center, same diagonal going backwards. Center, forward on the other diagonal. Good, center. And last one, same diagonal backwards. Okay, good. Now you can maybe even start to feel some things loosening up through here. That's wonderful. And just allow that to be an invitation to continue to stretch and let go during this class. Perfect. Now we're going to get started with more of the asanas. So if you've been sitting on a bolster or a pillow or a rolled up towel, you can get rid of that at this point. We're going to begin with what is called cat-cow in kind of the American cutesy language of yoga. And it's called, there are two names, Sanskrit names that I also like to mention. Marjayasana is cat pose and Vitalasana is cow pose. And so we're going to find those poses. The reason that they're called cat and cow is because the forms mimic the way these animals may look in certain movements that they're doing, okay? So this is a hands and knees. We're gonna get set up. We like to keep things at right angles as much as possible through this. So right angle here, all the way through, right angle here and down. All right, so hands on the floor and just find a comfortable, very sturdy frame there. Lifting up through the lower belly, right? Engage those abs. And you're going to find your cat by pressing up into your back and rounding the spine. Okay, and you're pressing hard off of your hands. You're drawing the fingers kind of in and toward one another. It's like almost an internal rotation here. And you're pressing up, engaging off of the legs. Okay, so that's your cat. It's like a Halloween cat, maybe like one that looks a little spooky with the spine in the air. And then you're gonna come back to neutral. And then for cow, you allow your spine to go the opposite direction. So you're going to draw your shoulder blades back. You're going to press your tailbone into the air. You're going to create the opposite curve in your back. Like that. Like a cow perhaps, just standing in a meadow. All right, so got it? We can speed that up a little. Cat and cow. And cat, inhale. And cow, exhale. All right, so do that a few more times at your own pace. And then begin to add some other movements to it, okay? You may want to kind of slink around, allow your hips to kind of have some motion to them. You may want to roll out your wrists. All right, getting some motion there. You may want to walk forward a little bit more with your hands and then allow your pelvis to just relax to the floor. And you can push back, getting a deep, deep stretch. Just breathing as you go. Find your own movement with this. It doesn't even have to be like a yoga posture type of a movement, just something that's comfortable and that your body is calling for. All right, and you can kind of walk your hands to one side or the other and stretch. Walk your hands and stretch. Getting stretched through the side body. Finding whatever it is you may need to feel awake and alert and fully embodied at this moment. All right, and I'm gonna fold my toes under. This is gonna get us ready for our next posture. Perfect. You can tap those out. All right, excellent. All right, so just allowing what's been moving and what's been kind of shaken up to be, okay? And so you may even be a little bit out of breath. You may feel kind of energized, excited for the next thing. That is perfect. The next pose that we're gonna do is, I want you to start on your knees, and this is hero's pose in the English, and it's called Virasana. Basically, you'll be on your knees, and your knees can be either close together or about like just a little bit of distance between them so that they are hips distance apart. All right, and so from the front, it looks like this, and then you're gonna sit back onto the tops of your feet. All right, and the reason for this, we're going to allow the fascia that's on the bottoms of the feet to begin to stretch and lengthen and open throughout the entire back body. The fascia that starts there comes up and wraps around and ends at the brows. So when we invite space into one end of that, it allows the whole chain to lengthen and to make room. So that's exciting. This posture can be very intense. It can hurt, and we don't want you to feel like something is hurting. Okay, so if it gets too intense, just come out of it. You may choose to use a block or a piece of furniture, hold on to something so that you get a little more leverage and a little more room as you kind of get into the posture, okay? And so you can hold yourself there. If you don't get a lot of mobility and you're here, that's great because you're still stretching all of that. So as far as you can go, work on that. You can come in and out when you like, just breathing. Good, and you can tap out the tops of your feet if you feel like you've held it for a long time. Your feet will feel great later, so just trust me on that. It's worth a little bit of discomfort in finding the posture in order to kind of allow that to open up. All right, perfect. Our next posture is going to bring some relaxation from that. And so if you're still here on your knees or close to it, I invite you to just find what we call child's pose, and it is called balasana in the Sanskrit. And the way to find it is, from your knees here, just sit down, and you can walk your hands forward. And I like to use a towel because I'm on carpet, but if you're on a mat or whatever, you may want some kind of little cushion there, especially if you have some distance, if you're not quite reaching the floor. Feel free to use something for your forehead. You can even use a block and come to rest there. That is perfectly good. And the whole objective here is to have a very lengthened spine and to just allow things to relax. This is a very restorative posture. You can do it with your knees close together, or you can play around with, hey, I want some distance between my knees. That is a little bit of a different stretch. I want to widen them and bring my chest closer to the floor and just allow myself to rest here. Your hands can be anywhere. Sometimes I like to cup the back of my neck and just kind of bring some ease and comfort there. Breathing here, letting go. And as you're there on the floor, you may choose to nod, not nod, but the opposite of nodding. Yes, it's shaking your head no. You may choose to shake your head no across the floor. And what that's doing is pressing your brow into the floor. And that is getting the other end of that line of fascia that runs up and around the back body. That is helping that to find opening and invitation to make space there. So you may find tender spots as you do that. It can feel amazing. So anytime my third eye is pressed to the floor, I really like to take advantage of that and just kind of gently shake my head no and allow that to happen from that brow bone. All right, so breathing there in child's pose for a few more breaths, enjoying that. And good. Then I'd like you to come back to your knees. And if you have a wall or a piece of furniture close by, that might be handy. It's not totally necessary, but depending, we are gonna balance a tiny bit on the floor, but still up on one knee. And so I wanna make sure that you feel supported if you need that. So our next pose here is we're just gonna do a moving low lunge. And so it is, I want you on one knee and the other knee just side by side, not too far over, not too far out, but here side by side. And I want right angles here with your ankle, with your knee, and with your pelvis, all right? And so from here with the right angles, I want you to take this front leg out about 6 more inches, all right? So another half foot out, so you have a little more space here. And this is the kind of the beginning shape of a low lunge. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna kind of walk tiny bit forward and back. And you're gonna wanna go gently and slowly because your knees are still kind of getting used to it. Gently and slowly a few times forward and back. Forward and back. Okay, just inviting motion here. Good, and now we're gonna make it a little more difficult. What I'd like you to do is drop your hands to the floor beside of your front foot. And I'm gonna scoot back a little so you can see both my feet. Framing the front foot. And then I want you to hit that forward lunge. So just come forward. You're getting a huge stretch through the psoas of the opposite leg. And the front leg is just bent here comfortably. You're not pushing far beyond where your knee naturally bends at a right angle. You're still here in this nice line. Stretch here, huge, all the way up through. As you're breathing, you can feel it through that whole plane of the body, which is incredible. And then I want you to take your hands and walk yourself back and allow that front foot to lift up, all right? You don't have to pull the toes back, but have them coming back toward your face as far as they can reach. And you will feel a nice intense stretch down the hamstring and the entire back of that leg through the bottom of the foot. All right, again, let's walk forward, breathing. And back it up, toes up. Breathing, good. And forward one more time. Make sure the toes and the foot of the back foot are relaxed. Good. And all the way back, toes to the sky. Great. All right, we're gonna switch legs. You may wanna shake that out if you need to. I definitely do. All right, so bring the other leg forward, again with your right ankles. Make sure that you're comfortable here. This leg's a little harder for me. I've noticed like I have a harder time keeping it aligned. So that's something I'm aware of, and I'm being careful with, you know, not over collapsing across away from my hips. So that's just something to kind of watch for in your own body as well. Put your other leg forward, and then again, walk it another 6 inches or so forward. So you get a distance. And then you're gonna just lean forward a little and then back. Forward and back. These are the quicker ones to kind of just bring in some mobility. Okay, good. Now this time forward, we're gonna walk. Good. Framing that front foot with your hands. Exhaling here, allowing this to stretch. And then walk yourself back, toes to the sky. Ah. And forward. Back. And last time forward. Good, and back. Perfect. All right, allow that to be. Now we're going to arrive in a half pigeon, and pigeon is often a favorite if you've practiced any yoga. It's a favorite in a lot of classes because you get to just kind of release everything from the lower body and just kind of bend over and just let it all go. We're going to get to that point in this class, but the first pigeon that we're going to do is actually more of a heart opener. So we're working hips and heart all at the same time. And so we're going to be still upright for it. So the way to get into it is to, you can start a lot of ways, but if you're in a seated position in this kind of crisscross applesauce or half lotus, whatever, we're going to keep one of the feet here and the other we're going to just wrap behind and come up on that knee and that entire leg, okay? And so it's here, and I'll show you from this angle. This is how we're looking. All right, and this is the half version of the pigeon where we're not folding forward yet. Eventually we'll get to the point where we just let it all go onto the floor, but that's later in the class. For now, we're here, and we're reaching up with the upper body and just allowing the lungs to fill, the diaphragm to stretch, and this lower body to, at the same time, let go. And your hands can be anywhere. You'll see mine are on my body because I don't have a lot of distance. Like it's not as comfortable or efficient for me to reach all the way to the floor. So I like to kind of push off my body a bit. That is fine. You can use, if you have a block or another surface like that, you can use that and press off. But staying upright, breathing. Allowing yourself to let go of what you don't need to hold on to achieve this posture, and letting those areas melt. You may feel heat forming in the body. That's perfect. All right, one more inhale, exhale, let it go. You can kind of shake that out. And then we're going to go to the other side. So again, one, your other foot in front of you with the bent shape, and then the back one reaching back up on the knee here. And you can look up. Allow yourself to let go of anything you don't need to hold to keep this shape. And then you can let that go. Good. All right. Our next posture is called Matsyasana. It is fish pose. It is a major heart opening. So you're going to have your body, like your spine to the ground. And it's nice to have a rolled up towel or a bolster or a pillow beneath your back. And the way that I like to arrange it, depending on the size of it, I kind of like the bottom of it to start at the back diaphragm line. So the back of where a bra would be if you were wearing one. And just allow yourself to find that rolling backwards onto it. And allow everything to let go. Your legs out in front of you. Your hands to the side of you, palms down. We're going to walk those under ourselves in just a second. But just find comfort here. And let go of a lot of the holding on that we were just doing in the half pigeon. Right, so from here, walk your hands that are palms down underneath your hips. And your thumbs can be touching. And just relax your hips on top of your wrists there. And this can feel intense, but also really relieving. We hold a lot of tension in our hands and the giving and the receiving that we do all day long, every day. Just kind of allow the body to help that let go. Breathing here nice and deeply into the diaphragm, feeling that stretch. Relaxing the hips, the legs, the ankles, the heels, and the soles of the feet. Breathing, letting go. Great, and when you're ready to come out of that, go slowly and gently. I like to walk my heels up toward my butt, and then I like to kind of just wiggle and move to the side and roll over to get out comfortably. All right, perfect. Now we're back and we're ready for the pigeon where we let it all go. So go ahead and get yourself set up if you like a towel on the floor or something for your head. And remember, the front leg is in a crisscross applesauce, half of that. The back leg completely behind you, knee on the floor, foot, the top of the foot on the floor. And you're here. This is a heart opener. This may feel different from the last time we just did it. All right, and then you're gonna walk your hands forward onto your elbows and just allow yourself gently, go as far as you want. You can stop here. You can add a block here. And this is amazing. This is a perfect pigeon pose. You can, if you'd like to go further and you want, your body's craving to go further, go ahead and bring your entire third eye to the floor. Your hands can be doing anything. I like mine on the back of my neck and scalp. And just allow everything to let go. Make sure that back foot is not too far curling into itself, into the body. Try to keep that in a nice straight line from the hips down. And make sure you're not rolling into the front bent leg. Letting go here. You can roll your brow where it's resting, opening the fascia that begins there. Continuing to breathe as anything that arises just comes and goes. Good, and now as you come out, press yourself up onto your hands and elbows and then just walk yourself back and let it all go. Okay, perfect, and now we'll do the other side. Remember, bent front leg, back leg, knee on the floor, top of the foot on the floor, making sure that the toes are in nice alignment. They're not pronating inwards. And then here, with a nice stretch, walk yourself down bit by bit. Third eye on the floor, letting go. Okay, great, and to let that go, walk yourself back up. And bring your legs back around. Perfect, we have just 3 more postures and they're all very much melting kind of postures. The first one that we'll do here is Happy Baby. I want to show you something before we do that. My lighting here is a little, the sun is coming in a lot. Let me try to work on that. Okay, so with Happy Baby, it is a posture. I'm going to just show you really quickly. You're on your back, your legs are up, and you're gripping your feet. Okay, and I'll walk you into that in just a second, but I'm going to show you a couple of nice reflexology points on the bottom of your feet so that if you choose to, you can grip into those and create even more healing benefits throughout your body. So the ones I'm going to show you are connected to 2 of the places that we're working with today with our energy centers. The first is the diaphragm line itself. These are nerve endings for the diaphragm that, you know, is here in the body, but it is here on the foot. And so from the ball, to find it, I drew with magic markers so that you could see, but from the ball of the foot right below that, trace all the way across. That's your diaphragm. That corresponds to this diaphragm here. And you may, if you press into a little bit, you may feel some tension. That's common because the diaphragm is a very, it's a muscle. It's there's a huge amount of holding there that goes on emotionally as well as just, you know, physically. And so it's nice to know where that is as a reference point. But in Happy Baby, I like to, because you're grabbing the outsides of your feet anyway, I like to know where that is and dig a finger or 2 into that to create even more letting go throughout the body in a very strategic way. So when we're in Happy Baby, find and grab the outside, if you like, of that diaphragm line and just see how that feels in your body. The other point that I noted on my foot, I don't know if you saw yet, but it's right here. It's rubbing off a little bit. I don't think my marker was permanent. But this one is it's on the puffy part of your big toe. Everybody has a puffy part underneath their big toe. So just look for that. And that's the place that you're going to press for your third eye. And that is, you know, again, your psychic seeing, your dreaming, as well as your possibilities that you'd like to unlock. It also happens to be here, the nerve endings for two of the places in the endocrine system that we're working with as well, the pineal gland and the pituitary gland. And so all of that is comprised in this tiny little dot. And so it's nice to be able to grip that. Sometimes if you're doing postures where you're grabbing your feet in any ways, fitting in a toe hold like that has a lot of really good benefits. So you can explore that as well in your happy baby. So we're going to do that now. This is called Anada Balasana is the Sanskrit for it. I try to always say the Sanskrit words and practice them. They have a lot of meaning, and we'll get into that in future classes. But the way that they're put together, that language is very neat, and it creates resonance in our body. So I think it's nice to honor that and to allow that to kind of take us further as we're learning bits of that language. All right, so on your back, knees bent and in a little bit, and then you'll just kick your feet up and bend your knees toward you and just grab. And you can grab anywhere you like, and you can try those points that I showed you if you like. And just hold here. You're kind of at the same time pulling down with your arms and shoulders as you are kicking up a tiny bit. It's just a micro movement with your feet so that you create a little bit of traction there. And you just let go. You can move points if you like. You can kind of rock side to side if that feels good. You can rock up and back a little bit if that feels good. And you can bring that back. All right, perfect. And then if you'd like to stay on the floor, we're gonna do a twist on the floor. So legs out in front, just completely blah, like let it all go. And then I'd like you to bring one heel toward your butt and then just roll with that knee across the extended leg, and then bring the arm, the opposite arm, out at a T. And both arms can really be out at a T, that's fine. So you're looking back away from the hip that is bent across the body. And letting it go. This is a great diaphragm stretch as well. It's a nice stretch through all the ribs, really. Okay, and back to center. Switch legs, the other heel toward the butt. The previously bent leg out, and then just roll. Arms out at a T, and looking toward the hand of the arm that's outstretched on the same side of the body as the bent leg. Letting everything go here, stretching, surrendering. Perfect. And now for the final posture, you don't need to move at all unless you want to get more comfy, like if you want a blanket or a prop or anything like that. You can grab that. I'm going to use a bolster under my knees to kind of allow my pelvis to relax even further. And this is Shavasana. It's also known as corpse pose. You are not dying, but perhaps parts of you, old stories, old ways, old beliefs, are leaving. Here's where you can let go of anything that is in the way of your bravery and of your being. You may close your eyes. Relax your brow, relax your jaw. You may choose to stay in Shavasana as long as you like. I'm going to close the class now. And I invite you, wherever you are, to feel yourself full of bravery, of refreshment in this energy, of renewed realization of your inner resources. Go from here and notice bravery in your everyday. Strengthen this inner resource. Recognize the feelings that happen as bravery comes in. First, perhaps something scary, then facing it, and then voila, there it is, and here you are. Namaste.